Greetings learners, welcome to my module on interest groups and pressure groups. This is a topic I have taken from farm organizations in UK and France. In this lecture of mine, you will learn about meaning and functions of farm organizations in UK and what role they play in UK, and farm organizations of France and their role. At the end of my lecture, you will understand the meaning of farm organizations in general and their role, and you will be able to describe farm organizations in UK and France. To start off, let us understand in simple meaning what is a farm. A farm, which is also called agricultural holding, is an area of land that is devoted primarily to agricultural processes with the primary objective of producing food and other crops, and its basic facility is food production. So, farm organization is a group of farmers with special interest and concerns with developed structure, formal membership, status and functions for its members with its set of bylaws and rules. Let us now understand features of farm organizations. Farm organizations which are formed across the world, they will have common interest. Common interest may be getting a better access to the market or by getting better price for their product. Second, dynamic and flexible. They are very dynamic in terms of their activities across the world, and they are flexible with their norms and operating procedures. Both they have long-term and short-term objectives, and they have a plan of action. And whichever farmer wants to join this organization, they have to get themselves enrolled through membership fee. And as an organization, they have a formal structure, and this structure is built through regular elections. The capacity of the farmers organization should be strong to ensure its long-term stability and sustainability. And every farm organization tries to maintain and create a link and network with other farm organizations in their own countries and outside the countries. And very important, if they really want to achieve their interest, they need leadership which is very committed. Now, why do the farmers organize themselves into organizations? That is the purpose of farm organizations. Farm organizations, they influence policies, they try to influence the government, they try to want to bring the policies that will meet their interest, and they demand for required services. And when they organize themselves, they can participate in the decision making process of the developmental activity. When they are organized as a group, they can get better access to the latest market in their country, even maybe export their crop and get access to better technology. These organizations involve in farmer and market-led extension activities. They build interactions through research, extension and farming systems. These organizations enable the farmers to organize themselves for better action or to have better share of resources. Through the organization, they understand the farmers' problems, collectively analyze farmers' problems, put them before the concerned authorities and they extend support. More services can be made available to farmers through these or such organizations. Now, this I have given to you given understanding of farm organizations in general. Now, let us try to understand farm organizations of UK. There are a number of farm organizations. From my lecture point of view, I have taken one which is very important organization in UK, that is NFU, National Farmers Union of England and Wales, which is seen as the voice of British farmers. This organization provides professional representation for about 55,000 members. It is a non-political organization but a lobbying organization, an organization that is funded by the fees of the members. Its head office is in Stone Lag Park, Warwickshire, and have offices throughout England and Wales, and they have representation in Brussels. Now, just a brief history of NFU. On 10th December 1908, a meeting was held in an ante room at Smithfield Show to discuss whether a national organization should be formed to represent the interest of farmers. And the outcome of this meeting was the formation of National Farmers Union. The first president of NFU, Colin Campbell, worked to get new branches off the ground, encourage more membership, and establish the credibility of this organization with the government. And this was a time when farming was going through the longest and deepest depression in the history, as imports of cheap grain and frozen meat flooded in UK from abroad. At the 1918 general elections in UK, NFU ran 6 candidates, none of them were elected. In 1922, it sponsored 3 unsuccessful candidates under its own name and 4 successful Conservative Party candidates. It again sponsored Conservative candidates in 1923 and 1935, but none have done so since. The NFU is registered as an association of employees under 1974 Trade Union and Labour Relations Act. The functions of NFU, and that is basically its role. The NFU proclaimed themselves as the voice of British farming. The NFU states that it champions British farming and provides professional representation and services to the farmers and grower members. This organization negotiates with the government and local organizations on behalf of English and Welsh member farmers. Its purpose is to champion British agriculture and horticulture, to campaign for a stable and sustainable future of British farmers, and to secure the best possible deal for their members. The group has set a target of ensuring all agriculture across England and Wales that has net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2040. Its approach has been criticized for failing to address the emissions, of course, for meat consumption. Just briefly to understand the structure or the organization of NFU. The National Farmers Union in UK is governed by its rules, regulation, that is, it has its own constitution. Under its constitution and the rules, the NFU maintains a number of bodies which are responsible for the governance of NFU. The NFU has an office in Brussels, Belgium, to represent the interest of British farmers to the European Union. Now, with the exit of Britain from European Union, this stand must have changed. NFU, if you see the role, it's just not only talking about the activities and services for the farmers, but they also have a role in larger issues like its stand on climate change. In January 2019, the NFU announced its aim to have net zero contribution to climate change across the whole agricultural production by 2040. The group released a report on how it hopes to achieve this goal, alongside a call for a support from government, industry and other key stakeholders to work in partnership to help deliver this ambitious program. NFU President Minette Barter said, NFU believes that the agricultural sector is very much the part of the solution to decarbonizing the UK economy, and says the group is working on introducing policy incentives for farmers and growers. Its target is to achieve net zero emissions, and this relies on certain themes. The first is by boosting productivity but reducing emissions, which includes encouraging farmers to use precision agriculture techniques for crops, to deliver nutrients and crop protection more efficiently. Within this, it also suggests gene editing for disease resistance to improve health and productivity of crops and livestock and reduce emissions. It also does lobbying on behalf of farmers. In the European Union, the NFU is represented by British Agricultural Bureau. It has at its permanent base at Brussels. The NFU states on its website that it gives farmers political representation at European level, at its national level and local level. In Brussels, its lobbying includes identifying European proposals that will impact on UK agriculture years before they become law and shaping them for the benefits of its members. Now let us understand farm organizations in France. France has been one of the most dominant agricultural centers of Europe for centuries. This gave France an important role in European Union and to some extent in the world affairs in the pre-industrial age. Currently, France still leads Europe in agriculture, excluding the Russian Federation. With about 730,000 farms, approximately 7% of workforce is employed in agriculture or similar sectors such as fishing or forestry. When all people engaged in agriculture related activities are considered, the percentage of the population engaged in agricultural production is much higher. The major agricultural products that place France among the top producers in the world are sugar beets, wine, milk, beef, wool. They produce about 29 million metric tons of sugar beets, and France leads the EU. It takes second place in both the EU and in the world in highly popular wine varieties. It ranks 5th in the world. France ranks 2nd in the EU in milk production. France is a major source of meat and wool in EU with certain metric tons. Now, as far as farm organization in France is concerned, I have taken JEC, that is Groupement Agricole de Exploitation en Commune. Socially, however, JECs were propelled especially by the Jeunesse Agricole Catholique in association with young Catholic farmers, guided by the conviction that a third road was needed between abuses of capitalism and excesses of Marxism collectivism. The farmers, supported by some intellectuals and high-level civil servants, are said to have convinced the French government that an enabling laws was needed. Their efforts fell on the fertile ground, since the government, led by key figures such as Edgar Pisani, was seeking to modernize family-based agriculture, and the JEC was seen as constitutional innovation close to structure to a family farm, in contrast to a corporate farm dependent largely on hired employees. Forming a JEC was expected to help individual family farms to improve their managerial efficiency, productivity and work conditions. For instance, pooling their resources together, even farmers with limited means could modernize their farming techniques and organization, experiment with new techniques, take advantage of scale economies and free children and their spouses from agricultural work. Moreover, in recognizing sons and fathers as equal partners, JEC enhanced the status of sons within the family and thus the incentive to work harder and increase productivity. Thank you, students. For further reading, refer to these online resources. Thank you very much.